Hello everyone, welcome to Bull BearCafe, May Market Movers and Sector Watch. My name is Yasko. Now, as I stated in my new moon video and the Bull BearCafe going into May that was recorded last month, the U.S. wages were or are still going higher, and the wages in the GDP report was high, was unexpectedly high, which happened on the 3rd, last Friday. And on April 23rd, I also warned that market would gap up, and it did, and closed up around 145 due to oil. Okay, and I mentioned oil because I was bullish coming into May. So I also said that I don't see China deal yet. Doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, but I just didn't see it. So right now I see Dow futures expected, and right now is May 5th, Sunday. It's about 9 o'clock, almost 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. And right now I see Dow futures expected to gap down more than 450 points. Why? Because China considers canceling trade talks due to Trump threats. That's what I'm reading. This is published 4 hours ago. I guess that's CNBC says, and then it says, that's what it's about. Trade talks that's not going well. Okay. So please read Bull BearCafe USA 2019. I said I am neither bullish nor bearish. Also, in my last predictions, I mentioned armed forces. And also, check out Bull BearCafe China 2019 about the focus on near neighbors. I believe that near neighbor is Taiwan. Last week, Terry Gao of Hong Hai was in Washington meeting with President Trump. Who is Terry Gao? He is supposedly Donald Trump, the Donald Trump of Taiwan. What's in Taiwan, and why is the U.S. concerned about Taiwan? What's in Taiwan? Okay. Heard of Taiwan Semicondctor? Well, the semiconductors are made in Taiwan, or they're manufactured there. They're designed in the U.S., but they're manufactured there. And Hong Hai Precision Industry owns Foxconn. Okay, and if you look it up, Foxconn in Wisconsin, Foxconn is the one. I think since last year they were trying to build a factory in Wisconsin. So who is Foxconn? Apple. Or who is their biggest customer? Apple is their biggest customer. And Terry Gao has announced, and here's the problem. Terry Gao has announced that his candidacy in next year's election in Taiwan. He is on the China side. He's running against the incumbent, well, the current President Tsai, who is pro-American. And Taiwan wants to be independent, like Brexit. And U.S. is trying to make Taiwan like Japan or South Korea, independent and a U.S. ally. So U.S. is selling fighter jets and missiles to Taiwan. And that has been going on. In fact, in March, if you read my Bull BearCafe, I said that this looks like a war, but they're trying to avoid. That's what it was. It was China trying to pick on Taiwan, and U.S. has already stated that they would defend Taiwan. So because China lays claim on Taiwan and stated it will use force to protect its interests. So the U.S. is going to defend Taiwan and wants to make it like Japan and South Korea. So this is important because technology production is in Taiwan. Okay. Now, U.S. is selling missiles, such fighter jets, but they are not going to be selling submarines. And I hear that it's because they don't want, just in case if China does, or that if Terry Gao wins and China's side takes over Taiwan, they could steal the U.S. Technology, the information. So, so that's why U.S. is not selling submarines. Is from what I gathered. And because U.S. trying to protect its commerce, which it owns, and U.S. owns the technology. It's a very recent happening that is taking a turn in Japan that is also very interesting. It's if you look up Inc. J, INC, like incorporated, J, that's Japan's sovereign fund. In other words, that government created its own fund out of the taxpayer money. And it put together a company called Japan Display. And it's a combination of several Japanese companies, I think like Hitachi and Toshiba. But what happened was Honghai bought Sharp. Sharp was a Japanese brand. Okay. Now now this Japan Display is being sold to Taiwan. However, now there seems to be a glitch. This is why I'm bringing this up, because I don't know if that has anything to do with all this. Because I believe the president was in Asia because of the crowning of the new emperor. So why was this company formed? This company, the Japan Display, was formed because its biggest customer is Apple. And you know that Apple prices have been dropping. So, but this Japan Display has a very high quality technology. And as I said, I don't know what if all this is connected, but astrologically, what I see next spring is that the technology sector is going to, I'm going to use the word stabilize, meaning affordable. So what does it mean to be affordable? Well, prices could be down, but it's affordable. So of course, if it goes higher, it's not going to be affordable, but I'm using the word affordable instead of saying it's going down. And why? Because government is going to be involved, and this is going to affect the banks, the coins, and everything else. Government will be involved, and the ground could be shaken and restructured. That's what I see astrologically, and that starts next March. So will the wireless sector get affected? Yes. By June, you will see it. So in my last Bull BearCafe, I talked about banks and coins. I expect Bitcoin as well as banks to make moves. I'm talking now about this week and next week. Be very careful on the 15th and the 16th. It could get extremely turbulent or uncomfortably critical. And this could be oil. It could be the oil or pharma, as well as the display panel that I was talking to you about, or even software companies. And I think mobiles are going to be like computers. Computer prices have gone down. They're affordable. So the online retailers, the sectors to watch, online retailers, and that is going to happen starting the 15th. Watch it and be very, very careful. The online retailers and banks could undergo turbulence next week, and this could include social media also, okay, especially social media that takes online payments, cryptocurrencies, and any website companies, what is that, a Squarespace, or a website company that provides web hosting and all that. And of course, banks. Keep your eye on the banks, and they can get hit with sudden impact. So I will probably upload another video next week, because next week can be turbulent. But looking at the calendar, I can tell you we're going to be dealing with telecoms, the communications equipment, as well as banks. But there's a lot of chip sector involved. So I am not as bullish on the 6th and 7th. And however, Bitcoin would be a little bit different. Well, I really can't talk about the other cryptocurrencies, but Bitcoin, looking at Bitcoin chart, I think that the Bitcoin probably will do well next month, and as we go into next month, although many of you may not be following that. Okay, and let's say the 8th and the 9th, what you will see in the 8th and the 9th, the movements will likely be in the food sector. So just keep that in mind and watch the banks on the 10th. And of course, next week, as I said, the 15th and the 16th. And going into that the 17th of Friday. So until next time, thank you for tuning in.